Lagode's Jack Butcher became the undisputed winningest coach in the history of Indiana high school basketball last night. Coming up after a short break, I'll take you there to meet the man who's managed to hold the same job for so long.
Lance, put that down.
Coaching high school basketball can be a tough business. Most coaches would love to last 760 games, but last night one small town coach won for the 760th time. But the real story isn't so much the record Jack Butcher set, it's more about the road that got him there. The images almost seem to write a modern history of Indiana high school basketball, but they are of one man in one school in one town. Lagode's Jack Butcher has been in these pictures for 43 years. Long enough to coach nearly 1,000 games, long enough to win more of them than any coach in state history.
You know, as I say, it's my hometown. I worked hard from the very beginning to develop the program. I played here. I wanted to see this program succeed.
This is where Jack Butcher's basketball life started here in Lagode back in 1948 when he suited up as a player for the Lions in this old gym in the middle of town. In '57, he became the team's head coach. That was his office up there in that balcony in the corner. He'll finish his career sometime in the next few years as the head coach of the Lions, still on Jack Butcher Boulevard in the Jack Butcher Sports Arena.
Hold up. Try to read when he wants to give you the ball, first of all. And secondly, give it to him on the move. If you wait till he gets there, the defense got a chance to catch up. So when he breaks open, move. That's when
Over the years he's coached in this town of 2,800, Butcher has left an impression on hundreds of kids. Some have moved away, many have stayed. Most all have found value in the lessons learned from their old coach.
I spent 4 years at Lagode High School, some very competent teachers. I learned a lot in school, but those 2 hours that I spent every day after class, I learned more about what was required of me as an adult, what I would use later in my life, than I probably learned in the classroom.
But you've got to protect it. Bring it down in here and pull it away from the defense. Wide foundation.
The foundation may have taken root in Lagode, but it grew in the city. After a great career at Memphis State, Butcher was picked by the Boston Celtics in the 1957 NBA draft, but he never signed a contract. With a wife and 2 small children to support, the vagabond life of a pro wasn't for him. Just a year later, the Celtics, led by another young player, Bill Russell, would go on to win the first of 8 straight NBA championships.
You know, you look back and probably would have gone to at least talk and see what he had to say, but I sometimes feel it's almost destiny that I be here in Lagode.
The Celtics lost a draft pick. Lagode gained a legend. In 43 years, Butcher has had only 2 losing seasons. In 1970 and 75, his Lions brushed aside the City Boys and played in the state tournament. Now at age 67, he remains a demanding believer in the game's fundamentals.
A good pass, not over the guy's head. He's expecting a good pass. That's where it ought to be.
It's not an easy job to play for Coach Butcher. I mean, he didn't get to be the best by taking it easy on anybody.
Once you understand what's required of you, and you kind of get to understand the purpose of what it all means, you buy into it. That's why his teams are successful.
When the Downtown Coaches Association meets for lunch at the Dairy Master these days, the parents of former players talk about the record and about how one coach has managed to hold the same job in the same place for over 4 decades. Tough act to follow when he does step down. I mean.
Oh, be very tough. You know, I know, we expect a lot, and I think, Jack Butcher's one of the reasons we've done so well.
Do you think anybody's ever going to break that record?
No way. No one will ever break that record.
How come?
I don't think anyone can stand the pressure of coaching that long.
It took 43 years to win 760 games and about 3 months for Jack Butcher to get tired of talking about it. He's not much for statistics, except when they involve things like turnovers and free throws, and he didn't set out to become the all-time winningest coach in Indiana way back when. It just sort of happened.
And I don't think, this record has anything to do with what we're trying to accomplish. Our goal is to make the best basketball player out of each and every individual on the team, and thereby developing into the best basketball team we're capable of, and at the same time developing some of the important aspects of sports at the high school level.
A career that began with wooden backboards and canvas sneakers is carried over to the era of three-point shots and class basketball. Closer to the end than the beginning, maybe, but having left a lasting impression.
I grew up watching Lagodi basketball all my life, and to finally have a chance to play for Coach Butcher, it's just amazing. And to be on the record team, it just makes it that much better.
Hopefully, as the years go by, that this group will come back as some of the people that you talked to today and become part of what we here in Lagodi like to call the basketball family.
How many of the coaches that took over programs this year can project themselves 43 years from now still coaching the same basketball team?
That is amazing. Same place, same school.
And we can thank Butcher that almost everybody in Evansville knows how to pronounce and
Lagodi.
spell Lagodi.
Lagodi.
You learned it real quick when you came to town.
That's right.
Yeah.
Great story, Rich.
Thanks.
Very good. Thanks, Rich.